Hey guys, it's Sarah. So I'm going to do a tag video today. I haven't done a tag video yet and I really liked this one. I've seen a couple people do it so far. And I haven't been tagged by anybody as far as I know. I don't think enough people watch my videos quite yet to be tagged. But you know, these tag videos, just anyone can do them. So I'm gonna do this one because I thought it was fun. I think it's a good kind of halfway through the year type thing, even though we're almost into August now. But it's a good, you know, kind of halfway, see what you've read, see what you want to keep reading for the rest of the year, and it's kind of a good like refresher, I think. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one. This is called the Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag. Let me double check. Mid-Year Book Freakout Tag, yes. So I saw Shannon at Leaning Lights do this recently, and then I also saw Cassidy, starts with a V. I don't know how to say her last name, so I don't want to butcher it. But I will leave both of their tag videos down below if you want to go check them out. I don't remember exactly who the originators of this tag were. There were two of them. But both Shannon and Cassidy have links to those people as well, so you can check them out there if you want to. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so there's 15 questions for this tag, and the first one is the best book that you've read this year so far. And I struggled between two different books. I wasn't sure which one I was going to choose, but then I realized one of them actually fulfills the second question, so I'm going to go with my other choice here, and that is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I read this back in June and really enjoyed it. The reason I chose this, I actually think I only gave this one 4 stars on Goodreads. I don't think I gave it 5 stars. And other books I have given 5 stars, but I chose this one because this one really kept me guessing the entire time. I found that even though I hated most of these characters were effed up. Like, for real. They were messed up. Everyone had their big set of issues that were not small issues. There were big issues that they had. So it was hard to like any of them. Not a single character in there did I really feel like I could either relate to or that I felt sympathy for. All of them, I was like, you are stupid. But I really enjoyed the book. So I read a book that I hated all the characters, but I really liked the book. I don't know. So that kind of makes me pick it because I think that's really interesting. And also, like I said, it kept me guessing the entire time. And even when you find out what happens towards the end, I still did not see it coming at all. So that's why I chose this one for the best book that I've read so far. Okay, question number 2 is the best sequel that you read in 2015. And for this one, I picked Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. This one is the sequel, is the second book in the Throne of Glass series that I just recently discovered and love. So this one, I actually read the first 2 from the library, and then after I finished reading them, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and buy them because I actually want them on my shelf. I want to continue to read and buy the rest of the series. This is gonna be a 6-book series. There's 3 out right now, and also along with a collection of 5 novellas, so there's gonna be 7 books total. But yes, I love this. So I got these really nice paperback versions, and I prefer paperbacks to hardbacks, especially when they're like this. You know, the covers are soft and they, you know, they open easily, and I really like this. I like the size. It fits nicely in my hands. I hate dust jackets. So I really like them. I think that they're beautiful. So I have the first 2 in this series along with the 5 novellas, and then I have also pre-ordered the third one, which is Air of Fire, and that's going to come out in this paperback version on September 1st. So I've already pre-ordered it, so once it comes out I'll get that and be very excited to read it. But this, I really liked the first book. It took me a little bit of time to get fully into it, but once I did, I was a goner. And then I picked this one up pretty soon after, and this was better than the first one, which a lot of times is hard to do. So yeah, a lot of action in this one. There was some really good character development in this one, and then the ending was just like, ah! So I am very excited to get my hands on Air of Fire in September, and probably read that very soon after I get it in the mail. But yes, so this was definitely the best sequel that I read this year so far. Question number 3 is some new releases that have recently come out that you want to read but you haven't yet. There's a lot came out this year that I'm very interested in reading. I actually do have a lot of them. Most of them are on my Kindle right now. So I went to my bookshelf and grabbed one that I was probably the most excited to get my hands on, and I've heard nothing but good things. I'm very excited to read it. It's a monster of a book, but yeah, so that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. So I got this, I think I bought this on the day that it came out. I didn't pre-order it, but the day it came out, I finally caved and said, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and order this. So I did. And it's big. It's a big book. It's supposed to be like an epic fantasy type thing, and just really heard nothing but good things. I'm trying not to watch too much about it because I don't want any spoilers or anything like that. But this was originally supposed to be a standalone, but from what I hear, it ends on a cliffhanger and people are really left wanting more, and they have already signed on to do a sequel to this. So I don't know if it's going to be like a series or just a duology or whatever, but there is going to be another one from her in this, so that's exciting. I haven't read it yet because it's a really big one, and I'm kind of I have to gear myself up to take on the big ones, but I own it. I'm happy. I'm excited to read it soon, so sometime I'll be getting to this one. Okay, so question number 4 is the most anticipated new release for the second half of the year, and for this one I'm gonna go with Queen of Shadows by Sarah J Maas, which is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series, even though I haven't read the 3rd one yet. And then the 4th one, you know, I'll get in the paperback, which is going to be another year. I think they usually release paperbacks a year after the original publication. But once I read Heir of Fire, if I'm really like itching to get on to the next one before I can get the paperback, I'll just go to the library and grab it. But I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited about the entire rest of this series. So that's probably my most anticipated one. Question number 5 is the biggest disappointment of the year, and that is definitely Revenge Wears Prada by Lauren Weisberger. I picked this up for a readathon, I think, back in June, and I was excited to read it because The Devil Wears Prada is it's in my top 10 favorite books of all time. And I was excited that there was a sequel, and I picked it up and got 100 pages into it, and I kind of hated it. I want to finish it one day, but as of right now, I put it back on my bookshelf. I just don't have the desire to pick it up right now. But I found it to be boring. I didn't care about what was happening to the characters at all. I think Andy is being a little whiny baby right now, and I kind of want to punch her in the face a little bit. So, yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. This book did not get very good reviews anyway, especially on Goodreads. A lot of people are like, what was the point of that? So that kind of, I don't know, reviews with me are kind of weird because I've read bad reviews about books I loved as well. So I don't take them, you know, too seriously when considering what I'm going to read. I kind of let my own opinion lead the way on that. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to finish this anytime soon or not. Probably not, but maybe in the future I'll pick it back up and see if I can work my way through it. But so far, definitely biggest disappointment. Okay, question number 6 is the biggest surprise. And this one is definitely the Wayward Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch. I just recently finished this trilogy, and I started recording that show, Wayward Pines, that was on, I think it was on ABC over the summer. And it was just a 10-part miniseries, and it looked interesting. So I was like, oh, cool, I'll watch that. And then my mom told me, well, those are based on a trilogy of books, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that. So I was like, well, maybe I should look into the books. She said, yeah, they're written by Blake Crouch. I was like, oh, duh. Like, okay, I'm in, because I've read Blake Crouch before and I really did like his work. So I got all 3 books on my Kindle, and I flew through them like you would not believe. I think the first one I read in like 2.5 days, and then the second one I read in 2 days, and the third one I read in 2 or 3 days. So I flew through them really quickly. And in those, like, once the action picks up, it's like I could not put it down. I wanted to know what was happening. And I was guessing, especially through the first book, I was really trying to guess what was going on, because the first book really has you in the dark about what is actually happening. And then at the end it's revealed, and I was just like floored because like any scenario in my head did not even come close to what actually happens in this series. And then the other 2 are like consequences and, you know, a bunch of action and stuff like that. The third one kind of scared me a little bit, so that was interesting. It was a little bit scary. And yeah, I really liked them. These are a little kind of a little ranging on the horror aspect of of a genre of book, I guess. It's not terrible, it's not super gruesome or anything like that, but there is some stuff that's a little bit scary. But biggest surprise for sure, I hadn't even heard of these books until my mom mentioned them, and then when I actually picked them up, I flew through them and absolutely loved them, gave all 3 of them 5 stars, so loved it. Okay, question number 7 is favorite new author, either a debut author or a new to you author, an author you've never read before, and I'm definitely gonna go with Sarah J. Maas for this one because I read the first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series, and I also read A Court of Thorns and Roses, which was her new release this year, and I just absolutely love the worlds that she's building in her books. She describes everything very, very beautifully. It's very easy to picture everything in your head. There's a lot of kind of love tension, I guess you could say. There's not a lot of, you know, people don't bounce on each other every other minute. It's a lot of like thinking and debating and, you know, kind of pros and cons, and it kind of makes you root one way or the other. And it's funny because a lot of people root one way or the other. There's not like a single person who people are like, yes. So that's kind of interesting. So this Throne of Glass definitely has kind of a love triangle, and maybe a love square, because I hear there's a new one in Heir of Fire. I haven't read it yet, but there's a new one in Heir of Fire that pops up apparently, and people are like, So yeah, that's interesting. But between this series and then the Court of Thorns and Roses, I just really have enjoyed her writing, and I am seeing myself wanting to read everything that she writes from here on out. So Sarah J. Maas is a new to me author, and I have enjoyed her books immensely this year. Okay, question number 8 is your newest fictional crush, and Dorian, you guys, Dorian. I'm holding this one up because in this one, like, solidified my crush on him. I liked him in the first book, but this one, holy crap, like some stuff happens with Dorian that makes me just, I don't know, I want more of Dorian. I hope he's more prominent in the next book for sure. I think he probably is because he was going through some stuff in this one and he's got to come to terms with it. But seriously guys, Dorian, favorite new crush, hands down, Dorian. Okay, question number 9 is newest favorite character, and I'm gonna hold this up again, you guys, because Selena Sardothian is definitely my new favorite character. She's new to me since I just started reading these books this year, but I love her. I think she is just a really, you know, she's a kick-ass chick. She's an assassin, she's strong-willed, but she also has a girly side. She likes to go shopping, she likes to read. She's beautiful. She has, you know, men that are in love with her, and she's trying to figure out how to handle that. She doesn't want to hurt feelings. She doesn't want to hurt anybody, but she also needs to make herself happy, and she doesn't really know how to do that. So you see her struggle a lot with things like that, but on the same side, like, she'll take you down. So I love her. I think she's a great character. I'm very excited to see what happens with her in Heir of Fire, because at the end of Crown of Midnight, something big happened to her, and it's going to change like everything. So I'm very excited to see where that goes and how she handles it. But definitely Selena Sardothian is my newest favorite character. The book, the question number 10 is a book that made you cry, and I've only had one book that made me cry this year so far, and that is The Fault in Our Stars. I read this towards the beginning of the year, I think in February, and it definitely made me cry. I thought it was going to. I wasn't ugly crying, but I had some tears streaming down my face towards the end, and not for the reasons I thought, so that was kind of interesting. But yeah, so this one definitely made me cry. I have not read any more John Green books. This is the only one I've read, and I know Paper Towns is out now, the movie, and I don't know. I want to give him another try and see. I'm just afraid I'm afraid his stuff is going to be a little too YA for me. I do enjoy young adult novels, but I don't know. I'm going to give him another shot. So if there's a John Green book that you loved besides Fault in Our Stars, one that you just absolutely would recommend to anybody, even a 36-year-old, let me know down below what I should pick up next from him and see if I can make him a regular in my reading. Question number 11 is a book that made me happy, and that is going to be Chasing Harry Winston by Lauren Weisberger. And this one I picked out for my TBR jar, and I recently finished it. I really, really enjoyed this book. It's pretty short, but this was kind of just what I needed. I was coming off of I think I was coming off of Pines actually, and I just needed something a little light, a little light and fluffy, and this definitely was. And I really enjoyed this one. I was a little nervous going into it because I did not like Revenge Wears Prada so much, but this one was good. I liked the characters. I really liked their dynamic and their friendship. The only issue I really had with it was one of the characters kind of jumped into a situation pretty abruptly, and I was like, where'd that come from? But I'll talk more about that in my July wrap-up because I did read this for this month. But yeah, so, but overall this one did make me happy, so yay. Okay, question number 12 is your favorite book to film adaptation that you saw this year. And for this one, I'm gonna go with American Sniper. I read American Sniper in January and loved it. I'm a huge Chris Kyle fan, just him in general. And so I read the book because I knew the movie was coming out this year, so I wanted to read it first. And then when it came out, my husband and I were able to sneak out and go see it, and it was very moving. The entire theater, like when we were done watching it, everyone was just kind of quiet, like just kind of, you know, probably trying to catch their breaths, because I definitely was. Even though I read the book and I knew what happened, it was still, whew. And then at the end, you know, they show actual footage from his funeral and stuff, and I'm sitting there doing this. But I think that the movie was really well done. I think Bradley Cooper did an amazing job playing Chris and showing him and his struggles and what he went through, and just kind of emulating the human being that he was. And I just, yeah, it was amazing. Okay, question 13 is a favorite book review that you've done this year. And I recently did a book review on A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and I really enjoyed doing that video. I enjoyed talking about it. My favorite part was the end where I did the discussion, so it was like, you know, spoilers and things like that, but it was good to kind of get stuff off my chest because I don't have a ton of friends here who read the same types of things that I do or read as much as I do quite yet. I just joined a book club actually, and I'm kind of meeting some people who are reading some of the same stuff, so that's fun. But yeah, so it was good to just kind of talk about it and kind of vent my frustrations and talk about what I loved and what I didn't like so much and things like that. And so that was probably my favorite review I've done so far this year. I'm going to be doing some more here soon, so that's exciting. But yeah, that one for sure has been my most memorable. Okay, question number 14 is the most beautiful book you've bought this year so far, and this was a no-brainer for me. It is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I've not read this book yet, but this cover, you guys, is so gorgeous, and it's a really nice size. It's not like a very big, you know, huge book, but it's, I don't know if my light's gonna pick up on it, but it has gold foil like around the feather, and just, this is my favorite color, this aqua blue here, and I love how it's kind of fading, and it's gorgeous, and the spine of it is gorgeous as well too. So this is definitely hands down the most beautiful book that I've bought this year so far. I haven't read it yet, but I bought it and it's beautiful. Okay, so the last question for this tag video is, what books do you need to read before the end of the year? And for this one, I need to concentrate more on my my reading challenge that I'm doing this year, which is the Pop Sugar Reader Challenge. I have a link in the description if you want to check it out, but it's a prompt for 50 different books to pick up and read. So I have done 30 of them already, and I need to do 20 to meet that goal. And I have not been combining challenges at all. I've been choosing one book for each prompt. So I have 20 more to do, so it's very doable, and I just need to really make sure that when I choose books, I'm going to choose books that are going to fit one of those prompts. So that's kind of what I'm really concentrating on right now, because I've read a few books that have not fit into any of those categories, so they were just kind of extras. But yeah, so 20 books, and I'm really confident that I can do that. A couple of them are going to be long, but that's okay. And so yeah, so when I start picking books, I'm gonna be looking at my challenges and saying, okay, what can I easily fulfill right now, and, you know, kind of check those boxes. Okay, so that's it for this book tag. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was, you know, they were fun questions, and it kind of got you thinking about what you had read already and where you want to keep going for the rest of the year. So I'm actually gonna tag somebody. I'm gonna tag someone who I know she at least subscribes to my channel. I hope she watches, but I subscribe to her channel as well and I watch her, but Christina Rast. So Christina, if you're watching and you wanna do this tag, please do. And then if any of you guys who are watching, if you have a booktube channel and you wanna do it, then do it, it's fun. So yeah, that's it for me. Okay, I'll be back again soon with some more videos. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.